Alright guys, so we're going to train some rotation. Rotation is what you use in order to create power, to be able to transfer something from one side of your body to the other, some a projectile, to throw a ball, to throw something heavy over your shoulder, to chop wood. It is athleticism. And there's a lot of ways in which people try to train it out there, and oftentimes it's problematic because it doesn't allow the person to be better at rotating for doing it. Oftentimes they just become stiffer and tighter. So some of the common things you'll see out there is that people are trying to resist rotation. So there's a common movement where you either got a band or a cable and you hold it out here and you're just trying to challenge your middle part, your abdomen, to not fall apart. That will work your abs in some folks, but that's just going to make the person tighter. It's not going to allow them to create more power. Sometimes they'll rotate through, and if the person gets the rotation through their hip, awesome, that is a place we want it. But again, that person's going to be stiffer for doing this, not be able to create more torque. They need to be able to stay loose to crack a whip. And every now and again, you'll see folks do different things like chops. Oftentimes they use different attachments to pull across. At times they pull up. And that's another one that, well, we are moving a lot more body parts, but because the arms are so close together and moving as a unit, oftentimes it's difficult for anyone to take that on without becoming rigid, and as a result, it doesn't make them better at producing rotatory power, at being able to really hawk something when they want to, when they need to. They just get tighter. They feel something worked, they feel like they're getting a workout, but they're not better at their golf swing, they're not able to survive the demands of their job or their lives better, they're just tighter. So I'm going to show you 3 exercises that I like to use in order to help people produce power, produce rotation through their body, and not become tighter. In fact, they're stronger and looser. I hope they're helpful. Alright guys, so the first cable exercise that I love using with folks to train rotation, rotational power, rotational control is a cable press. And we call it a stagger stance cable press. The direction that the pulley's coming from is up above. And what you're going to be doing is getting a leg out in front of you, and it's the opposite leg of the hand that's got the handle. And it looks something like this. You press down. So, what is this doing? Well, you are reaching through yourself, and because the load is only through one arm, you're able to reach back with the free one and get your rib cage shoulder girdle to rotate. And you can transfer power through your middle into the opposite leg. This is throwing. So it's a very useful, very functional thing that will affect a lot of folks positively. The thing that you got to keep in mind is when you're doing it, this is a leg exercise. Now, a lot of things are being worked, but if you focus on loading the lead leg and maintaining that throughout the exercise, then everything is going to work out. If you keep your lead foot completely flat and steady and your weight pegged up on the rear toe, you're good. It is self-correcting. It's like trying to balance on a balance beam. If you haven't fallen on your face, you know it's good. So here I got the weight now in my opposite left hand. So I've got my right leg forward. I'm putting the load through that, and you try to reach all the way through. At first, if you're not steady, you may have to hold the leg completely still just to not topple over. And then as you get more comfortable with it, you can add in the lunge. Big keys are to keep that foot flat, up on the rear toe, not sagging back, and that free hand. You want to go real dramatic, like Big Lebowski bowling arm. That's going to really get that shoulder girdle moving around and up above your core and allow you to corkscrew into that lead leg and really produce a lot of power. So some folks will feel their abs working when they do this. Some folks that have got some upper body deficits are going to feel that get challenged. Others are going to feel their lead leg really burn, and that's a great exercise then for them to learn how to probably steady their lunges, because chances are they're not that great at lunges if their leg gets challenged with this. This works great with reps around 8 to 10 and gives you a few to get warmed up, but it needs to be heavy and hard enough to give you feedback. If you go too light and you have to do higher reps to challenge yourself, you're not really going to know what you're doing it for, so you get lost along the way. So choose a weight that allows you to do 8 to 10, no more than that, and then rep it out. See how one side is usually very different from the other side, and then do a few sets. Ask any questions if you got them, but hope that helps.